Well, good day, YouTubers, and thank you for tuning in to the Doze video on YouTube. Sorry for the quick intro, but at least I've actually given myself a bit more time to show you a bit of gardening synopsis of what's going on around here at the moment here. Why do I say the word here so many times? But anyways, I'm going to show you what I've actually have straightforward summarized. Noticing I've actually been gardening for at least, well, I could tell you what, by the looks of it, I can see a little bird. Is that like a little nuthatch or something like that too? It seems like at this point, this time of the year also signifies we're getting lots and lots of birds. I can see like little nuthatches, robins, chaffinches. It's actually quite a nice gathering of small little birds right here. But I'm actually not here for the birds. Well, I'm actually here for the plants. Okay, I'm actually for the plants this time, so obvious as this sounds, I can still do a bit of bird watching. It seems like we're getting lots and lots of birds. Interesting, I'm seeing all kinds of birds. Blue tits, great tits, coal tits. I've actually got so many in my backyard garden now. Obviously, they're gathering in flocks because they've stopped breeding. But anyways, just to clear my sick throat, we've got geraniums here. Obviously, it's the end of September and nearly the beginning of October. Very much so. And what we've got is that we've got a very massive clump of nasturtiums. Now, I know it's been quite chilly and frosty. There you go, I can see a bit of pigeon activity going on here. In fact, it's been quite very chilly and a bit frosty outside. It's the sign when autumn is straightforward at it's pretty much at its inauguration, as I like to call it. I've got no other words to really say. But anyways, we've got very big clumps of nasturtiums. Everywhere I see is massive clumps of nasturtiums. So much so that the amount of nasturtiums are thriving so rampantly in my backyard garden. And I mean, that is very much massive. Lots and lots of nasturtiums have came up, in a massive influx. Bigger size, chunkier looking leaves, and that sort of stuff. We've got cosmoses, and we've got lots and lots of zinnias. Everywhere. I tell you what, my backyard garden is actually becoming very, very amazing at times. One thing to note here is that this giant cosmos bush is going to fail, noticing that the flowers are going to straightforward be late blossomers. I think I've got a sneaky suspicion that because we're going up towards autumn and winter, we're going to be seeing a high deprivation of sunshine. Obviously, sunshine is going to be really, really hard somehow. I know, sorry about my throat because I've gone through a period of illness, especially during the weekend, which was absolutely not amazing, obviously, because when you're that ill for 2 to 3 days, you have apathy. But anyways, we've got lots of nasturtiums. I love this one here, this golden one here, this yellowy, sort of golden coloured looking flower right here. Looks actually wonderful because it almost looks like this flower has actually got a lot of blood. Very nice colorization. Then we've also got more fiery coloured nasturtiums, regular coloured ones, and then we've also got this droopy looking sunflower. Unfortunately, it actually is highly looking like it's going to die off. But the big question is, has it been pollinated? Well, there is some pollen, being straightforward, being, sprouted out like this, but no, there actually hasn't been any signs of pollen being spilt out from the sunflower. And the sunflower's attacking me. Yeah, it's actually not that healthy at all, somehow. But anyways, we've got lots of zinnias, cosmoses. In fact, we're also starting to see massive clumps of zinnia heads as well. In fact, if I go up towards this individual, what I've noticed is that the zinnia, oh my goodness me, the zinnia's petals have actually decided to become a lot more drier. I think that's starting to bring out a very significant clue of what I'm seeing here. And yep, obviously we've got some pigeons. I think the pigeons are straightforward. They're going to devour my meal later on, I think. Obviously. And I'm going to go ahead towards, more zinnias, more cosmoses. The grass has been relatively wet. Not only has it been raining so far, but it's mainly linked to the amount of frost and dew and the amount of moisture that goes around during autumn time. Even though it can be quite chilly, it delivers a lot of moisture. Somehow, it's quite interesting, isn't it? And I can really feel that autumnal breath coming out of my mouth. It really is that time of the year again. It's quite a bit crispy, but hey, that's what this time of year is normally all about. We've got lots of more zinnias. But lo and behold, even though I initially thought one cosmos flower has failed, look what's happened. One cosmos flower has decided to blossom. Now that's a very nice sign. Somehow it's very, very nice to know. I don't know what these things are on that flower. I've got no idea what are these weird looking fake fig-like things are. I don't know what this is. You know what the name? You guys can tell me the name. I'm not sure if that's a weed flower or a plant flower bud thing. I have no idea what that is. Some more zinnias. Obviously, we've got lots and lots of zinnias. And let me track across through the other side. I've also laid out I've actually laid out a bit of bird food right here because I'm going to straightforward feed the pigeons. Obviously, I think it's pigeon mix, big chunky bits of corn, and other stuff like so. We've got what looks like to be a berry tree. Lovely, isn't it? And then we've also got other bits of vegetation that have been highly growing like so. In fact, we're getting lots and lots of like other flowers. This one here is also starting to dry up. Again, that's probably giving some big clues of what's going to come later on in a couple of weeks' time. And I'll tell you what, my whole backyard garden, and the colours taking over, has been growing massively. Quite a lot of stuff, somehow, in my backyard garden. Very amazing. I could tell what guys say. And what is that bird here? Is that a coal tit? Obviously, it's a type of domestic bird and not something inappropriate. Obviously, let me just show you where that coal tit is. It's actually on the background. I can just see its little backside. There's its bum here. I've got my eyes on the bird here, and it's actually moving. And it's actually off. So often it's actually off as it's gone. As I've been filming at this point here. Looks like, yeah, a lot of small birds, big birds. Quite amazing stuff. And I can actually see now what's going on the top part of the roof. We've got what looks like to be a couple of feral domestic pigeons. I might as well just show you before the end of the video because, hey, why the heck not? And quite impressively, oh, it looks like that one pigeon has decided to lay a bit downwards. Strangely enough, I initially thought there was a pigeon resting here, but for some reason, bam, it looks like they're gone right. One more thing, as I straightforward want to show you something even more. Now, I did say that the tomato plants were straightforward fail, because I know that there's a lot of, like, yellow flower action. For some reason, I've actually got lots of tomato fruits that I've actually decided to germinate right outside of my backyard garden. Now, that is amazing. Seeing some tomato fruit. I think what will be really best is if we get a really dry October with big doses amounts of sunshine, we will start to see the tomatoes ripening like mad. That would be relatively awesome. But I think what would have been much more better is that I could have actually planted those plant seeds. I would have planted the seeds around mid-spring. That would have actually been a much better time of the year to do so. Nevertheless, I have been straightforward gardening as much as I can. But sadly, I think these tomato plants are going to straightforward last for a very short time because we all know what's going to happen. We all know what's actually going to happen, and I'll tell you what, when winter lands in, they're all going to die. But anyways, I'm going to straightforward leave this video here. If you really enjoyed this very different video on YouTube, please give this video a very good like. Subscribe for more fun fact videos in the future. And as always, my gardening videos have actually changed the way my YouTube channel is like. Not just toy reviews and that sort of stuff. But anyways, thank you so much for watching, as always. And bye for now.